See, this Black Myth Wukong thing is not easily over. The developers, whether or not they sign an exclusivity deal, and if they wanted to maybe use it for, maybe advancing themselves, getting a little bit of money back and so on and so forth, that's their prerogative. If PlayStation signed one for them, that's a prerogative. It is unethical, I believe so, because the game was already announced to be coming to Xbox, but PlayStation has now, via one of their executives in a leadership spotlight, come out and said that they worked with games like Stray, which happened to be an exclusive, and also approached the developers and supported Genshin Impact, which also has to be an exclusive. Black Myth Wukong and Stellar Blade, which also both had to be an exclusive. But I always knew that we would have to make 50 videos on this matter because I will always get somebody who comes in and pushes back. The IT Crowd 22 said, so Sony was just working with them to have more functioning product on their platform. Is that what Phil Rosenberg said? Phil Rosenberg is the person who said this, okay? Let's just read what he said. Because again, that's how y'all come out and then you start acting like you didn't read what I read. And let's get back to the point, okay? This is probably video number 6. We still got like another 18 more videos to go, okay? So let's get through this one quickly. How does your team work together to identify great new franchises and titles? Nothing here about the question was about technicality or how do you help teams that are finding technical issues to make it to the PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 5 platform or PlayStation 4? What do? Do you send engineers to help them? They never asked any question like that. They said this, there are so many great games that come from seemingly out of nowhere. What's the secret sauce to make successful IP happen? Then Phil Rosenberg says, we have, for instance, GPDR. It's almost funny to just see how an executive will say it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, quotes and everything. PlayStation logo sitting on the corner. Like, the whole thing. Like, it's so weird. Let's go on. And it says, for instance, in GPDR, the Content Ventures team led by Christian Svensson, he said we have in GPDR the Content Ventures team. This is the Spec Ops team, and it's led by this person over here. And he said there's no person better in the world than this person and Sean Benson. So these two folk, okay, there are even names. There are names behind it. Now, let's see if these two people carry out an engineering role of some kind in PlayStation. You see, all of these, fanboys, I gotta tell you, man, you have to understand that scrutiny is literally something that you have to do even when you don't want to, like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to be as, you have to be as, skeptic as you possibly can. Scrutiny is a big deal, okay? Are y'all hearing me? Sean Benson, Director Global Head of Third-Party Portfolio and Acquisitions, Sony Interactive Entertainment. Sean, with an E, Benson, Director Global Head of Third-Party Portfolio and Acquisitions at Sony Interactive Entertainment. Sean Benson is not in any way whom you might go to say you had an engineering issue. A functioning product would probably see somebody that's underneath Mark Cerny's team, because we are quite aware of PlayStation's, executive branching. Let's look at the other person, Christian Svensson. Let's go ahead and look, because if we don't look, they're going to say we're over here making assumptions, and you're going to see the IT crowd try to lambast me, right? Christian Svensson, Content Ventures, head of 2P, 3P Content Ventures and Strategic Initiatives at PlayStation. Now, why would anybody who has a technical issue be looking for Christian Svensson or Sean Benson? This person said, I don't understand how this proves anything about them having an exclusivity deal when their two content acquisition people are cited by name. Oh Oh, goodness. Okay. I'm going to calm down. Let me relax. Oh, my gosh. I told you we'd make 20 videos on this stuff. Y'all thought I was joking, right? This thing is too predictable at this point. Anyways, I take a deep breath. I said, yeah, like they did with Stellar Blade and Genshin Impact, right? I said, let's be real here. Okay, the IT crowd replies to me and says, deal with them was pretty open since the beginning. Huh. I didn't know that. Who came out to say the deal was there? And for any of them come out to say it? Did Game Science come out and say there was a deal? I didn't see Game Science come out and say there was a deal. I didn't see PlayStation come out until now to say that there was a strategic acquisition of their main people. And then they said, why would they make a deal with Wukong and never take advantage of it? Makes no sense. They're telling you right now that they did make a deal with them. You can argue with Phil Rosenberg and say, Phil, why didn't you go ahead and market it and all that stuff? You know, what in the world's going on here? Because their PlayStation studios actually did market it when they were showing gameplay of the game on PlayStation on their Twitter account. Do y'all remember? Oh, some of you don't. Anyways, you're just saying these things based on assumptions here because Sony made a deal with some third-party devs. There's no evidence of that here. Bruh. I cannot. I can't. Okay. I don't know. Okay. Whatever. Let's keep going. I need to get through this. I said Game Science can simply come out and say no deal was made. Baldur's Gate 3 devs did it. Game Science is not in any hot water for doing it. If they don't, then I can safely conclude that there was. And it means PlayStation has no juice. Their main play is to block games from going to Xbox. That's it. Like literally. I mean, it's okay. Let's just know what it is. And that was the last thing that I basically put on this comment because I was like, bro, I cannot be crazy. I can't be crazy. It's not me. Two people are mentioned by this gentleman over here. Shout out to Phil Rosenberg, by the way. You know how to do your business. I mean, that's the business that they take in the PlayStation side. I mean, they executed on that really stellarly. Get it? Stellar? Anyways, and they came out with, those two games, one from Asia, one from China, as timed exclusives. Well, I would say exclusives for one, timed exclusives for the other. And somewhere, somehow, the head of the Content Ventures team, who goes out there, 2P, second party and third party. Like they got a guy whose title says, you're going to go ahead and go acquire second party and third party content. And somebody's telling me a functioning version. That was a bogus lie or some kind of a modification because those who were sharing the information from the inside wanted to kind of say, you know what? Perhaps it was some kind of deal to get the Xbox version going front. Now we go back and look at Phil Spencer's statements at that time where he said, we don't comment on deals, made by our third party or made by our partners or something like that. Do y'all remember that? Do you remember that statement? Do y'all remember that statement? You don't? Do you not remember that statement? It's right here. We can go back and see it. So Phil told you, and people said, don't trust Phil. I said, okay. We're excited for the launch of Black Myth Wukong, blah, 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 blah. We can't comment on the deals made by our partners with other platform holders. But the platform holder just came out and basically confirmed it. And they put names. And I'm getting somebody tell me that isn't the channel about data and evidence. That's what somebody said that. They said, isn't VG's channel about data? That's literally what somebody said in the comments. That's what this gentleman said in the comment section. That isn't VG's channel about data and evidence. Here it is. He said this to somebody else. He said, isn't this channel all about data rather than assumptions? Where's the hard evidence to prove it? That's what this person said. Now, in the article, their names were there. This is the first time I'm actually looking at the article, by the way. I literally did a Google search inside of this video. It took me how many minutes to do that? My eyes can be, I can't be crazy, guys. Maybe am I losing my mind? Oh my gosh. The level of audacity and gaslighting Leave your fanboyism in your pocket. The gaming industry has changed and it's left you behind. It has. It has. All that Series S narrative is blown out of the water. Absolutely terminated. Goodness gracious. And I'm a PC guy. I'm making this video from a build that eats the Series S. It does. And I'm here telling you that the truth is much more important than some freaking hardware, stupid console war. AMD 3900X, it's even outdated. Eats the Series S and a PS5 put together in cores and CPU processing, GPU RTX 4080. And I can tell you that this lie that was propagated on the Series S is absolute trash. It doesn't matter where you're playing your games on. I couldn't be bothered, but let's tell ourselves the truth before you jump out there and start saying console fanboy nonsense, because it's much more important that we know the truth so that everybody can play according to the same rules. PlayStation has its game that it's playing. Blocking games from Xbox is the way, according to them. So now those people who have already had a terrible notion, because some people had the notion that these developers just didn't want to bring their games to Game Pass, to Xbox, because it's not worth it. That's what they were perpetrating out there on the streets. The juice is not worth the squeeze. That's what they kept saying. The juice isn't worth the squeeze. The developers probably saw, hey, it's not even worth it for Xbox. And so they decided not to. Then it turned to the Series S. Then it was like, well, all right. Let's see the next person that tries to deny this video so that, God willing, I can make a video on the person trying to deny the evidence that was shown after one person tried to deny another evidence. And then we'll get to hopefully our 22 videos or 24 videos on the issue. Thanks again for joining me. Peace out.